What's up, Beachbody champs? Happy Friday. It's noon Central Time, so I'm going to jump in. I will say that I'm going to cover the comments so that I don't get distracted and I can focus on what I'm speaking about, because I do get easily distracted. But at the end, I will uncover them. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And at the very end, I'll go back and ask the questions or answer the questions. But I am going to cover that part because I get easily distracted. Okay, so my name is Leticia Dominguez. I have been a Beachbody coach now for 5.5 years. We are a 4-time elite team. So congrats, Team Living Fit, you guys are on. And thank you for hopping on. If you're watching the recording, thanks for hopping on. So I was asked to speak on the subject of keeping your challenge groups active during Transform 20, but of course, any and all challenge groups. So I wrote down a bunch of notes that I do in my challenge groups that are helpful and hopefully will be helpful for you as well. I will say that challenge groups has definitely been something that I've learned in the last 5.5 years, something that I'm constantly trying new things. I'm constantly trying to learn new methods, new ways of running them. Some months they're really great and it's lit and everyone's participating, and then some months not so much. So I've learned that it's one of those things that as long as you keep practicing, you will get better. And as long as you are always open to implement new ideas and try new things, your challenge groups will get better as well. I know in the beginning it was something like it was difficult sometimes, like pulling teeth, or you just, I remember feeling like no one is participating, or my group suck, or this and that. But it's one of those things that it does get better with time and practice, as long as you are super just focused and intentional about getting better as well, and trying new things and learning new ideas. So here we go. So first, I host a challenge group every single month, and I do it in the Tracker app. I haven't found a good balance of, I love the Facebook groups because you can go live, and I do feel like it's just more interactive, but my challengers just love to check in, and I love to instill that habit in them of them checking in. It becomes a habit. You check in, you get the check mark. You check in your shake, you get the check mark. So that seems to keep working, so I'll keep running them on the Challenger Tracker app. Every single month, I start a new group. It's always usually the last week of the month, with exception of, like right now, we just started Transform 20, which started this week. Well, Prep Week started last week, officially started this week. I use the resources that we have. Beachbody is so good, and they keep getting better and better at providing us with really good resources that make our jobs easier and our lives easier, and you work smarter and not harder. So if you aren't aware, when you go to your back office, you go under Grow My Business, and there's a tab that says something about challenge groups. There's guides for every challenge group. Right now I'm using the Transform 20 guide. They give you a post for you to post in your groups every single day. That's usually my morning post every day in the Tracker app. I always kind of tweak it and add my own spin to it, just so that it can sound like it's me, and not so corporate-y, but they're great. I love them. That's one of my posts. I always also am the challenger that I wish to see in my groups. So I'm the perfect challenger. So whatever it is that I'm looking for my challengers to do, I want them to check in every day with their workout, I'm leading by example. I check in every single day in the Tracker app with my workout. I check every single day with my Shakeology and the recipe. I also check in meals. And now that we have that amazing Tracker app, the tracker for Transform 20, at the end of the day, I post my tracker because I want my challengers to do what I'm doing. And most people would do what you do, not what you say, kind of thing. So that's, I think, is also huge in my groups, and why I feel like my groups tend to be successful. Not all the time, but most of the time. It's just because I'm very active in my groups, and I'm very much the challenger first and the coach second, if that makes sense. So I always have a morning post, which is the one that Beachbody provides in the guides. And then I'm checking in throughout the day with just my everyday lives. At the evening, I try to have another post, and usually it's a post where they check in. So it's like, how would you rate your day today on a scale of 1 to 5? Or what was the most challenging move of the day today? Or sometimes it'll be something fun like, if you could describe your workout today in using a movie title, what would that be? Just something where they're having to participate and talk back to me and give me something in return, not just a post that they can like, but something where they're commenting. So I can also see who's struggling, who's showing up, who's kicking butt. That's what I always try to have in the evening. So 1 in the morning, me checking in during the afternoon, them as just assessing themselves. And now with the trackers, so much easier. It can just be like, everyone post your trackers here in this strand kind of thing. But I just want them to let me know how they're doing. And so they can self-assess as well, like how their nutrition went, how their water intake went, how their mental health was that day, how they feel during their workout, that kind of thing. Okay, one thing that has been huge, a huge shift in my groups that I started to implement last year at the beginning of 2018. Yes, last year, 2018, was that I started to be huge about personal development in my groups, because we know as coaches, we do personal development, and we just know how they have to change. We have to change what's in between our ears, what we tell ourselves. Like Shanti, that's why I love that now Transform 20 is out, because Shanti's all about that. Conquer your mind, transform your life. I always tell them, change your mind, change your life. Same kind of thing, same kind of concept. But I'm huge on that. I post personal development almost every single day in my groups, and I go and find, and I'll get into this. I do a Zoom kickoff call with my challengers where we get on a Zoom and we kick off the boot camp. And it's usually the first day in the evening or maybe a few days before we officially start. And that's just where I give them just beginner tips, where I set them up for success. And in that call, I stress the importance of personal development. And I tell them straightforward, if you do not do personal development, odds are you are not going to have success in this journey. And if you do lose weight or whatever your goals are, odds are it won't be permanent, or it might be permanent, but you'll always still be where you are now in that negative or unhappy or whatever it is that you're struggling with mindset. So I give them my favorite recommendations right away. I tell them to go download the Audible app, because I know most people don't have time to sit there and read, and that'll be the first excuse. So I just nip that excuse in the butt, and I tell them on your commute to work, to and from work, when you're getting ready, blah, 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 I want you to be empowering your mindset. I tell them Mel Robbins, and I also tell them to go subscribe to Mel Robbins' YouTube video, because that's free content. I tell them Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face. Mel Robbins, I also recommend the 5-second rule for them, because in there she talks about motivation, and she talks about how she thinks motivation is trash. And I just love the way that she words it. I share those two. I tell them to go subscribe to the YouTube channels. I tell them to go subscribe to Rachel Hollis's podcast. I share my favorite podcast with them, and I just stress until I annoy them of how important it is for them to start doing personal development. And on top of that, I don't rely on them doing it. I find a video every day on YouTube and I post it, whether it's Rachel Hollis, Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, like just some of my very favorite. And I make sure I find the short ones so that, I nip the excuse in the butt. But the ones that do start watching them, I love how they start commenting like, wow, I really needed that today. Or wow, this made me get out of bed, right? Like that personal development starts to creep in, and I just know they're going to have more success if they can work on their mindset. When I started to be huge on personal development in my groups, when I started to really enforce it and be annoying about it, I saw that they were getting better results, more lasting results, and they would fizzle out a lot less. They would continue with me because I do carry them over from boot camp to boot camp, from challenge group to challenge group. And I noticed that the amount of people that I was carrying over, because I only carry those over who are actively participating, I'll make a post and say, okay, this group is closing down. If you want to be in the new one, drop your email. because I'm not trying to carry around people who just aren't ready yet. I noticed the huge difference that it has done for them and in the boot camp. So PD, if you don't already stress that really hard in your boot camps, I really encourage you to do that. I think it'll nip it in, you know, the whole people phase out or people aren't showing up or people are giving me excuses, that nips it in the butt. And I love it because in the Zoom call, the kickoff Zoom call that I do with them, I tell them, look, life's gonna happen, so get ready for that. And I tell them, if you ever are caught in a place where you are feeling like you can't, you're just so unmotivated, you don't know how to get back into it. And I said, you might be in that place because it happens to a lot of us. I always tell them, like, look, I don't even want you to focus on your workouts. I want you to focus on your mind. I said, because if you can focus on your mind first, then the rest will come. Anyways, okay. The next thing that I started to implement, and I got this from my girl, Ashley Mostad, you guys might know her. She is the #1 coach in the network, is having them sign a contract. Before we even start, during prep week, that is a requirement. They have to sign a contract. They either sign it, they email it to me, they take a picture of it, they type it out. However it is they want to do it, I don't care. They just sign the contract, and the contract just basically says, I am being held responsible for showing up. I am responsible for doing my best. I am responsible. Like, they take full ownership of the fact that it's up to them to show up, that only they are responsible to take their power back. So that contract, when I started to implement that also made a big difference. And I would annoy them and just kept, not annoy them, but just reminded them, like, who hasn't turned in the contract? I haven't got the contract from this person, that person. Remember, it's a requirement to be in this group because we're the boss. Like, it's our groups and we get to set the expectations and we get to set the rules. And if you set those up front and you're strict up front, they're going to abide and they're going to do what you ask them to do because you're the boss. It's your group and they are blessed and fortunate to be a part of your group. With that, expectations. I make a big post with the word expectations in red, and it says, these groups are limited in space because they are. I think it's 500 now that people can be in a Challenger Tracker app. And I say, I expect you to check in your workout and I expect you to check in your shake every single day. If you fall short or something is happening, make sure that I am aware of it because I will remove you from the group if I see that you are just completely inactive and I have no idea what's going on with your life. And I say the reason for that is because the group is limited and also because there is no purpose to be in this group if you're not going to be putting in your best effort. It is not. So I just set that expectation. In doing that, again, you are the boss. In doing that, you set it up front and they know what to do and they know what you expect of them. Okay, so I already talked about the Zoom kickoff call. We do that. I do that once a month because I have new challenge groups once a month. And that, I don't love doing it because I don't love doing calls. I don't love talking, but I love their reaction. They have said, they always say how it's personal, how they love to see me and interact with me and see each other. So I keep doing that because it's just a personal, sometimes these virtual groups can seem a little bit unpersonal just because it's not in face-to-face, but it's these little things that just add that little special personal touch because remember, they joined you and they chose you as their coach. So I always keep that in mind. Out of all the coaches that they follow, probably they chose me. And so I want to make these groups as special for them as I can and make them feel special. So I already talked about how I am very active in my groups. The Zoom kickoff call, and then I try my best to go live where you can't really go live in the tracker, but do that 3-minute video. And I kind of like that you're limited to 3 minutes. I try to do that at least 3 times a week. And sometimes it's something that I read in my personal development. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I just listened to this podcast and I'll post it in the comments. But so sometimes it's just when I listen to a podcast or something that I have in my mind, or if I see that someone asked a question, I'm like, this is a good time for me to make a video so that everybody can hear it, like if they ask for travel tips or something like that. Yesterday morning, what I did is I did a video of me and my husband doing the last Transformer, and yesterday's workout was hard. Powerful, day 4. Oh my God. So I'm like, I was struggling so bad, and this is my 3rd round doing it. I was struggling, so I said, if I were a challenger, I would need some extra encouragement right now. So I did a little video, I set it up, and I said, I was all sweaty, out of breath. I said I want to do the last transformer with you guys, and we did it. And then afterwards, I just gave them like this hurrah pep talk on how this is hard, but we are stronger and all of that. So I try to do a video 3 times a week, something that can be helpful for them. Again, I just want them to see me see me interact with them as much as possible, to make them feel like they're not alone, to make them feel like I just didn't dump them in a group and I'm just, Also, I try to do at least once a month. It gets hard sometimes depending on what I have in my personal life, but once a month, a Zoom workout. And that's usually, I try to do it on the weekend because most people are off of work on the weekend. So once a month, I give them the Zoom link and we work out together. That's always really fun. Let's see. Something else that I do is I do a weekly leaderboard. So where I shout out, and it's different. I can share those in the comments. They're not for me. I got them from another leader in a leadership group, but they're these cute little graphics. And like one of them will say day 1 rock stars, everyone who logged in their day 1. And I go to the Challenger track rack. I see everyone who logged in their day 1 workout, and I put their names on it. Right? And I put their names on it. I put it in the tracker, but I also shout them out publicly in my IG stories. From these little leaderboards, I choose what I call Fit Babe of the Week. And this Fit Babe of the Week wins a little prize. I do either a packet of Hydrate, or a Shakeology tote bag. If you go to the Coach Online office under sale, under Coach things, you can buy like 5 Shakeology tote bags for like $12 or something. And the reason I choose to do a Hydrate packet and not Energize packet is because everyone who joins my boot camp as customers, coaches, they get a welcome note from me, a handwritten note. My assistant helps me with that. A handwritten welcome note with a little packet of Energize in there. I really love doing that too. They love it too. They're not expecting it. It's a surprise, but it's just, again, a little personal touch, because I'm so fortunate and blessed that they chose me as their coach. It doesn't have to be anything that you purchase. It can just be a handwritten note. Also, another idea is you can do for giveaways or welcome little prize. Target has awesome dollar section. They sometimes have really, really cute things in there. Five Below, the store Five Below, or just a handwritten card. Like, it doesn't have to break the bank. The reason I like doing Energize packet and Hydrate packet is because I want them to try it. I want them to try Energize and love it, and then I want them to try Hydrate and love it, and then they will choose if they want to continue to purchase it. A lot of them do. You can also do beach bars. I haven't done beach bars yet just because I'm scared they're gonna melt. Okay. So that's what they do. Every single week we have a Fit Babe of the Week. The graphics I will share, but one of them is day 1. Another one is, I think they're called, and they have cute little names on them. All the people who logged in at least 5 workouts and 5 shakes, they go on that graphic. Huge shout out once a week, and then I choose a winner from there. There's one where they log in 7 days. So different weeks I choose different ones to use. 7 days and 7 shakes. There's one like the superstars who log in 30 days or something like that. And then I go and tweak it because we don't work out 30 consecutive days. But you can then create your own from those as well. But recognition, well, it's on my phone. I chose 2 challengers because I do that every week. And I was going to read you one of them responded and said in the new group, she said, "Oh, wow, wasn't expecting this." And she said, "It feels really good to be recognized." Another one said, "It feels good to work out, but it also feels good to be recognized." Like, they want to be recognized too. And I know we do that a lot for our coaches, but also our challengers, because when you recognize more, they're willing to keep doing those activities to continue to be recognized, and it encourages others who maybe aren't as active to get on the boat and get on it and start being active as well. Okay, another thing that I do in my boot camps, in my challenge groups, that I feel helps to retain them as customers and help them stay with their meal plan, just continue from program to program, continuing to use the shakes or the supplements, continuing to adapt this as part of their lifestyle is I teach them how I use it as part of my lifestyle. And that's another thing that I hit really hard in our welcome kickoff Zoom call. I tell them, we're going to learn how to do this from now until the end of time. This is not just a 6-week thing. This is not just an 8-week thing. I want you to use, like, we're going to use these meal plans and these workouts to fit your lifestyle. And I tell them it's not one thing or the other. Like, you don't have to be 100% strict or not do it at all. And so I teach them how I just make it a part of my lifestyle because I want it to be sustainable for them. Want this to be sustainable for them, just like it's been for me. So I tell them right away, and maybe this is not super like Beachbody approved, but I tell them I don't ever follow these 100% because that's not sustainable for me and my lifestyle. And I rather follow something maybe 85%, but do it forever versus 100% for 6 weeks and then you fall off and then you revert back to your old habits, or you were so miserable and strict that you're just counting out the days to end this. So I hit that really hard. I think they really like that. And they follow me on social media, so they know that. I also have already pre-recorded YouTube videos with some of my best tips about that. So I share how I adapt these programs when I go out to eat, making the small changes. Like, because they know I love tacos, I'll get the tacos, but instead of the rice and beans, I get steamed veggies. And so I have those YouTube videos on how to then, when they go on trips and vacations and holidays, because I don't want them to think it's either one thing or the other. Like, oh, I'm going on a trip, so I'm not going to apply any of this because I can't be 100%. I tell them I'd rather you be 60% versus 0%. We also do holiday workout Zoom parties. We did it I think we did one on Thanksgiving Day. We did it on Christmas Day. And a lot of them responded, I have never worked out on Thanksgiving. I have never worked out on Christmas. I have never worked out on, because I think most people think it's either one or the other. I'm like, no, we can wake up, we can work out, and then you can enjoy all the Thanksgiving treats that you want. Same for Christmas, same for any holiday, same for your birthday. So I see that, and I love that when I see them saying things like, I worked out on my birthday for the first time in my life, because most people assume that it's either 100% strict or not at all. So I think just me hitting that hard, and when I'm out to eat, whatever I'm eating, I will take a picture of it and use it as a learning moment. Like, okay, guys, I'm out to eat. This is what I got. And people know that I love margaritas, and hopefully I can share this too. So I'll say, like, whenever I'm more dialed in, I cut back on the margaritas. And then if I still want to have a cocktail because it's a celebration or I have date night with the husband, I don't want to feel deprived. I don't want to feel like I'm either 100% strict or not. So I said I'll switch it out for like Tito's and soda water, which is healthier than a margarita kind of thing. So I think that has been big on helping them just adapt this to their everyday lifestyle and not thinking, man, I have this vacation coming up, so I'm not going to start my program yet. It's like, we can do both at the same time. And again, I am leading by the front. We just got back from Cabo. I worked out every day. I checked in every day, and I made it a point to say, guys, it was 30 minutes. Now I have the rest of the day to go enjoy my vacation. Okay. Of course, I also try to make them fun. So we do little fun challenges. One little fun challenge that I have them do that I love and they love, well, maybe they don't love so much, but I love them doing, is on week 2, I challenge and encourage them to make a video, an intro video of just a little bit about their life. And I tell them to tell us when they are committing to their workout time, 6 a.m., like morning, afternoon, or evening. And then I tell them, go watch all the other people who post their video and find an accountability buddy, find each other on social media. Because if 2 of you said you're committed to working out at 6 a.m., I want you to look out for each other. So I try to have them also lock arms and work together and hold each other accountable. They really like that. And I like that because a lot of these people are strangers and I don't know them. So I get to hear a little bit about their story, where they're from. Of course, they share their goals. And I choose a winner from that. Everybody who shared a video, I choose a winner, they get a little prize. I do, on Wednesdays, we wear pink, just cute things to, I know when I was in a sorority, It's all about just like feeling a part of something, the community. When you feel like you're a part of something, you're going to show up more. You're going to have more fun. So I do this little silly thing on Wednesdays. We wear pink, but you'd be surprised. Like they look forward to it. They tag me in their stories. They start to wear pink. And it's just one. And I tell them like, this is kind of silly, but it's fun. And this journey should be fun. So I think it just makes it more of a community, but I change it and I say, you can sit with us, because I'm huge on, you never do this alone. You never do this alone. And I like that it starts to build that community and that thought, like, we really aren't alone in this. I also have this special hashtag that, of course, I didn't make it up, but I started using it. It's sweat for those who can't. They start to use that. I explain the importance of that, what it means to me. And to some, they also grab that and they run with it and make it part of their own. And it just helps, again, build community, keep showing up, those little things. Something new that I'm going to start this year that I got, again, from my girl, Ashley Mostad, is Wear It Again Wednesdays, so that we're not so caught up just on the scale. Yes, the scale is an important tool to track progress, but it's not the most important. So I make a video and I'd say, we're going to start this fun challenge, Wear It Again Wednesday, where they choose a few clothes items that fit them snug. And every Wednesday, they're going to take pictures in these items that they haven't worn or for a long time. And we're going to celebrate Wear It Again Wednesday. I also have Check-in Sunday. On Check-in Sunday, it's not about scale. It's not about anything physical. I just have them check in with one positive thing that they're proud of in their journey for that week. And also one area that they're going to focus on in the upcoming week. So they can start to see what they need to focus on, but also so they can be proud of something. I think so many times we get caught up on things that we have to track by either the scale or the measuring tape, and that we forget that we're getting stronger and we are being rock stars for just being on this journey. So I try my best to get them to focus on, you got to be proud for something, and they have to be proud for something. They have to find something they're proud of. All right, on Thursdays, I do Thirsty Thursdays, and I share Shakeology recipe, but not just Shakeology recipes. I also do mug, like my coach Jennifer, she shared a mug cake that she started doing that everybody loves. So I started to share mug cake, how you can make Shakeology balls, how you can make peanut butter cups, just different ways to use Shakeology so that this helps them retain Shakeology and stay on Shakeology. So it's not always just a shake, but if they can make something as delicious as peanut butter cups as a healthier dessert or a mug cake, odds are they're probably going to want to keep getting Shakeology more and longer. So Thirsty Thursdays, always something related with Shakeology. Sometimes it's like the ingredients, like, you guys, did you know that this ingredient in Shakeology makes your hair grow or your skin bright? It's just something to do with Shakeology. And then the last, which I already said this, is I am the challenger that I want to see in my groups. So every day they see me drinking Energize. And then I stress the importance of beach bars when I'm at events, when I'm on travel. I'm like, oh, thank God I have my beach bar. Or on the weekends, during the night, when we're watching a movie and that sweet tooth hits, I'm like, thank God I had this beach bar. So I'm just kind of like always am using the products, and I am always talking about the products in my groups, but not just like in your face, buy this. It's more like, whoo, thank God I had this beach bar. It saved my life today, or whatever the case may be. Or, I couldn't do this with Energize. I said that yesterday whenever we had that really hard workout. I'm like, if it wasn't for Energize, you guys, I don't think I would have been able to get through that workout. And I don't say you should buy it. Why I use it and how it saves my life. Okay. So that is all that I have for you guys. I hope that was helpful. I will, uncover comments. If you guys have any questions, I am happy to answer. And again, I'm constantly learning to get better and try and implement new things in my groups, because it's just one of those things where, Audible on 1.25 speed. I do that all the time too, Arnold. But it's just one of those things where challenge groups, they're fun, but it is one of those things where you should be trying to implement new ideas and maybe throw out ideas that aren't working, try something new, just kind of keep them alive and going so that people are having fun, but also getting results and staying with you and continuing from one program to the next, to the next, to the next. Good. I'm just reading I know this is always the awkward part where people are like, seeing if any questions come up. And if you're watching the recording, if you have a question after I'm out live, just tag me and then I'll come back and answer your question as well. I will share those graphics that I use to choose the challenger of the week as well. I'll put them here in the comments, I think. And then you can tweak them, make them different, but I love doing those and they love doing that. They love being recognized and they should be recognized. Thank you, Allie. Okay, I think that's caught up. Good, so that was all that I had for you. I hope that was helpful. Again, if you were watching the recording, tag me if you have any specific questions and let's go out there and just make our challenge groups the best we can so we can help retain our customers and help them continuing to get results from now until the end of time. Thank you, Melanie. You guys have a great Friday.